What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the mental game, mental side of baseball, how to stay calm under pressure, how to rise to pressure, and I'm just going to be taking swings while we do it. Okay, so what is the mental game? What define mental game? Well, it's the game within the game. It's everything that goes on in your brain when you're taking swings, when you're in a game, whatever you're doing, and it's almost more important than the actual game itself. And it's because what goes on in your brain influences how you're going to play on the field, obviously. So if you've got all these negative thoughts, all these worries and doubts in your mind when you're playing baseball, your actions are probably going to speak to that. Oh, ow. Um, but if you've got all these positive thoughts, all these like I'm going to go crush this ball, I'm the best, I'm the best player on the field, even if you're not, just believing that you are can make a big difference in how you perform. So, how do you do that? How do you make sure these negative thoughts don't get in your head? Well, there's a couple ways that I do it. And my favorite way is visualization. So, away game, so you got an away game, riding the bus there, right? So, on the bus, normally people listen to music, watch Instagram or something. Don't do that. Put your AirPods in, put them on noise cancellation, just close your eyes and just imagine your at bats. Just imagine the game, okay? Like, all right, 0-0 count. I'm leading off the game. I want to get a hit. I want to get a base knock. Okay? All right, base knock. Go to the next at bat and make sure you're like really taking in the field, taking in your surroundings, like really trying to feel like you're there. And you do that for every at bat, every play in the field you might have. If you're pitching, go through your pitches. Who would I throw? What would I throw to this guy? What would I throw to this guy? And eventually, as you do that more often, it'll become a routine and a habit. And it almost makes at some point it almost makes you feel like you've already played the game. And when you already feel like you've played the game and you know the outcome and you know it's going to be good, you play more free. And that's the next point. Playing free, playing free allows you to be better. You're not tight. You're not trying to impress somebody. You're not trying to not do bad. You're trying to do well. And there's a big difference. If you're at the plate, don't strike out. Don't strike out. Don't strike out. Your brain, believe it or not, your brain doesn't know the difference between do and don't. It just hears the action. It hears strikeout. Okay? I know that doesn't sound like it's true, but it is. It is. If you're up here and you're all anxious, you're worried, you're tight, you don't have a good, loose, flowy swing, and you're just up here to like get through your at bat and not get out, you're not playing loose. You're not playing free. You're not having fun. At the end of the day, this is a game. And you got to have fun while you're doing it. So, what should we be saying to ourselves instead of don't strike out, don't hit a ground ball, don't hit a pop fly? You should be saying, here, I'll just show you. So, you get in the box, do whatever your routine is, step in. I like to say suave. Now, that means smooth or like flow in Spanish. And I just think it sounds cool and it gets me loose. You just want to be loose. You want to be comfortable in the box, get a little flow in your swing, smooth swing. Just smooth swing. Just hit the ball hard. I mean, there I hit it on the ground. Obviously, it's not the best swing. It's not why we're out here, but still not a great swing. But I hit the ball hard. And then after I say suave, it's something like when I'm walking up to the plate, I'm the best. I've got the best swing in the world. I learned that very recently from Triston Casas on the Red Sox on the Netflix documentary. He's in the batter's box. Nothing to be worried about. You got the best swing in the world. You got the best swing in the world, That just gets you in the right state of mind to go out there and do damage, go out there and attack. That's what we're trying to do as a hitter. We're not trying to be lazy. We're not trying to be an easy out. We want to be a hard out. We want to hit the ball hard every at bat. Just want to hit the ball hard. All right. So adding on to that, it's how do you play free? How do you play loose? Well, you don't worry about making mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes. This is a game of failure. Everyone's heard it, but it's so true. Hall of Famers failed 7 out of 10 times. It's true. If you bat 300 on your career, you will be in Cooperstown. Same thing as a pitcher, you know. You're gonna get hit around a little bit. You're gonna have days where you're on. You're gonna have days where you're off. It's just how the game is. Nobody's perfect in this game. So learning to accept that, learning to accept failure, is one of the biggest parts of playing free. And once you play free, you're gonna play a lot better. Trust me, I know. Last season, I was all in my head. This is my 14U season. I was all in my head about being the best player on the team, hitting all these home runs. And you know what happened when I tried to hit home runs? Pulling off the ball, everything was going straight up or straight down, and I batted .225. I batted .225 in 14U travel baseball. Now, that's really bad. I'll admit it. Probably the worst season of my career. But I had to change. I started reading some books, which a little crazy, but read Stay Hard by David Goggins, The Mind of an Elite Athlete, and a couple others. And they all really just were talking about, you gotta push yourself to be okay with failure. And once you're okay with failure, everything gets a lot easier. And now, freshman season, I'm batting .400. My goal is to bat .500. So we're a little ways off, but we're only halfway through the season. So we can still get to my goal. But the fact that I'm batting .400 coming off a season where I batted .225 is crazy to me, because I was actually considering quitting baseball. Crazy. It's the thing I love. I can't imagine not playing it. I can't imagine ever letting those thoughts get into my head, but they did, because I was too afraid of failing. So now that we've talked about how to come to terms with failure, we need to talk about how do you actually deal with it. How do you deal with failure when it actually happens? Because it's going to, as we just hit on. So I've struck out 3 times so far in my season through 8 games. 3 strikeouts in 8 games, which is, it's pretty good. But my goal was to not strike out this season, which is a very big goal, obviously. So when I struck out the first time, it was like, okay, didn't achieve my goal, but that's all right, because it's an opportunity to learn. That's the point, okay? Don't think of failure as you not getting, I don't know how to say this. Don't think of failure as something that's keeping you from reaching your goals. Think of it as something that could help you reach them quicker. Because what I learned from my strikeout is I'm an early count hitter. I like hitting the ball early in the count. No matter if it's a ball or a strike, if it's in my hitting zone, I like to hit early in the count. Ooh, that was really bad. But again, you got to just find ways to make the best out of your situation. The problem with my strikeout was I watched the first 2 pitches. I watched the first 2 strikes. Got to 0-2, fouled off a couple, but I struck out because I put myself in a hole too early. Now, I'm not saying that's the fix for you. I'm not saying, you're never going to strike out if you try and hit the ball early in the count, because that's not how it works. But I can tell you, you find what you like to do, find what you're naturally good at, what you're comfortable with in game, you're going to be a lot better if you do that. For me, it's hitting the ball early in the count, and I've been hitting pretty well in my opinion. So something's going right with that. So how does God play into this? How can we connect this? The story I think about most often when I'm trying to answer this question is the book of Job. Okay, Job's this great guy. He has everything he could ever want, all the wealth, all the power he could ever want in life, and God lets Satan take it away. And what does Job do? He prays to God more. He has more faith in God now that his stuff's been taken away. I think we can replace all this wealth that Job has with batting well and not batting well. When you're batting well, it's easy to thank God. It's easy to be like, hey, thank you, God. I'm hitting well. this is what God wants me to do. It's not as easy when you're not hitting well. It's easy to be like, oh God, why are you letting this happen to me? Why am I not batting well? And it's not always God's fault for you not batting well. Okay, sometimes it's just I don't want to say your fault, but it could be your fault, and it could just be that you're just playing baseball, and that's how baseball is. Not everything is this huge spiritual struggle, So just don't lose faith. Don't lose faith when you're not doing well, and keep your faith when you're doing well, but understand that it can be taken away, just like the story of Job. All right, so wrapping up, we went over a little tip that you can do to just, ease your mind. That's visualization. We talked about how to deal with failure, how to accept it. We also talked about how this is correlated to faith in the Bible. So that's a pretty good video to me. So next time that you see me, it will be episode 1 of Road to the Show IRL, because I like to play MLB The Show. And that'll be about goal setting, which is another important video that I really want to talk about, is how to set goals and how to do it properly, how to set good goals, and what some ways are to do that. So that'll be the next time you see me. And never forget that God is with you through everything, and He will never leave your side.